It's wonderful to see you all here. It's excellent that we could come together. It has been a long time since we all got together, and I'm just fortunate for your health, that you're able to stay here, and that you've stayed healthy so we could come together again. Today, following lunch, we will be recognizing volunteers who have stepped up to serve throughout the pandemic, and we'll also be acknowledging volunteers who have served many years of service as foster grandparent volunteers. But first, please help me to welcome the great city of Albuquerque's Mayor, Tim Keller.
Thanks so much for that wonderful, warm welcome. And it's so wonderful, not only to be together, but also because we're eating, to see everyone's smiling faces. And so it's a real treat, actually. And I know we have been able to pull this off because of mostly the hard work of all our volunteers, but also our, program organizers and Maria, even before me, and her team. So let's just, for a minute, if the volunteers could thank the volunteer staff and our Senior Affairs Department. And so this is a wonderful collaboration with our AmeriCorps Senior Foster Grandparents Program, obviously, but our Department of Senior Affairs. And so just to give some shout outs so you recognize people's faces who maybe you haven't seen in a long time. We've got David Chenet, who runs all our volunteers and our AmeriCorps stuff. Give us a wave. And our Senior Affairs Director is floating around. Anna, right there. I think you recognize her. And I know our Deputy Nikki's in the back, our Manager Nikki and others. Good to see you. Now, I also just want to mention, if you have questions, issues for the mayor's office, I can only be here for a little bit, but the legendary Alan Armijo, who many of you know, is right here. Former counselor and county commissioner, so I think he can stick around a little bit longer too. And so if you have questions, definitely reach out to him. So, I really just am here to say that, first off, wow, the pandemic has been so tough in so many ways, right, on our families and even on this program. But we're here today, we're here to celebrate being together, here to celebrate this wonderful AmeriCorps Seniors Foster Grandparents Program. And so that's something to be grateful for, despite how hard it's been. And I know even though the pandemic is kind of coming back in different forms, we're still a lot better than we were last year at this time. So, believe it or not, even though there's bumps in the road, like that road is leading to a better place. And so I feel very good about the city of Albuquerque in terms of whether it's our vaccination rates or what we were able to do providing meals to seniors, even when our senior centers weren't open, but now they're open again. And so we are committed to doing what we can for our community, pandemic or not. And Anna and her team, and David and her team have done a very good job with just that. So I also know that, like Liz, I have 2 young kids, and we had to adapt a lot during the pandemic as well. So the importance of the Foster Grandparents Program, I think, number one is everyone who's involved in it remembers especially how important it is when we couldn't do it. But now we also know going forward, as families readjust and as we coordinate what's available at schools and what's not, the program is even more important now. And so thank you all for being such a strong part of it. So for everything you do, whether it's prepping for homework packets or student grab-and-go meals or family care package distribution, thank you so much for being part of our school and part of our kids' lives. And also, let me just say, we have one 25-year woman that we're going to recognize with her pin a little bit later, but Rupi Tafoya, give us a wave. Round of applause. And I think, I told her, if you do it that long, you get to meet a bunch of mayors. So, she's on, I'm sure Marty was around for that, maybe even Mayor Baca. And now, so I'm glad to be your 25th, here for the 25th. So with that, let me just again thank you for your service and dedication and the love you have for this program. And it does not go unnoticed for the schools or the families or the kids or for me and for all we try and do at the city of Albuquerque. So with that, I'm going to hand it back over to Maria, and I also want to thank the band. Long drink of water, is that right? Love it. All right, Maria, back to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so very much, Mayor Keller, for coming and joining us today and helping us to recognize the dedicated service of our foster grandparents. Please take with us our well wishes and our thank you to First Lady Keller for her support of volunteerism as well. Thank you. Ms. Agnes Vallejos is the Department of Senior Affairs Social Services Division Manager. Come on up, Agnes.
So I never get nervous until there's a microphone, right? Like I'm fine, and then there's a microphone. So I was introducing myself earlier, and someone said, "Oh, you're Maria's boss." I said, "No, I'm just bossy." So there you go. That's all we are. Or maybe Maria's bossy, right? Because in our program today, she left me a spot, and in that spot it said words. I needed to come up with some words, Tristan, so here they are. So I thought a lot about the words, and these are the words I came up with for today. The first word is perseverance. Because you all, as foster grandparents, during this crazy time, you hung in there, you kept yourselves healthy and in good spirits. Commitment, that's my next word, commitment. Almost everyone that started in the foster grandparents program 18 months ago stuck with it. So thank you for sticking with it. How about love? That's a good word. I know that you guys miss your kids and your teachers, but you know what I know more? They miss you. Which brings me to our next word, which is creativity. I want to say thank you to these ladies over here who, and we'll talk about you guys later, but trying to develop new ways of serving during this unprecedented time. You all had to be so creative. So that creativity is my next word. How about appreciation? Here's a good stat for you. Despite the closures of the schools and the classrooms, you all served over 10,750 hours in FY21, in fiscal year 21. When you multiply that by your volunteer time and your service, that's nearly $250,000 value of service. Right? Now everyone clap. Because that's what volunteerism does. It expands so much what we can do with our programming, right? And if we had to pay for $250,000 worth of, we wouldn't be able to do the service, right? So without you, we couldn't have these great programs. Okay, so how about hope? Who's hopeful that we'll get back in the classroom soon? Right? And so, you guys, the people that know me will laugh. My last two words? No, there's never last two words, but these are my last two words for today. How about congratulations and thank you? So I have some news to share. So recently, Maria received a promotion with the city. She is now the Community Volunteer Engagement Manager, which is a new position with the department. In her new role, she will still be working really closely with all of the AmeriCorps senior programs, so you all won't be losing her. But let's all say congratulations to Maria. And so thank you. Because Maria got this promotion, Teresa was asked to take on the supervisory duties temporarily while we complete our search for the new foster grandparent program. And last fall, Teresa also stepped up while we found Tristan, who's our new program supervisor for Senior Companions. She helped in a big way with the Senior Companion program. So I want to say thank you to Teresa. See, and I psyched you guys out. You thought those were my last two words, but they weren't. Actually, they are. But I would like to recognize some other guests whose guidance and support during this unprecedented time has been invaluable. The first person I'd like to recognize is Anna Sanchez, who is our Director of the Department of Senior Affairs. And without her at the helm during this time, I don't know where we would be. So I think I speak for the staff here, but as volunteers, please, she's been amazing. And then Chris Sanchez had to leave. He's our new Deputy Director. So we're not going to say thank you to him because he left early. And then David Chenet is here. He's the Civic Engagement Manager for the City of Albuquerque. We also rely on David a lot to help us as we manage our volunteer programs. So big shout out to David. Thank you for being here. And then finally, I'd like to recognize our AmeriCorps seniors team. We take for granted sometimes the word team, but I can tell you that this group, the RSVP program, the Senior Companion Program, and the Foster Grandparent Program are truly a team. The collaboration between these three programs is just amazing, and it always inspires me. So I'd like to just introduce these folks. So Angel Gomez is our Program Supervisor for RSVP, and her team is Heaven Chavez and Josie Orduña. In our Senior Companion Program, Tristan Lovato Armstrong is our new supervisor. And she's joined by Jenna, who's hiding out in the back. There's Jenna. And then, of course, I was sitting back with Grandma Lori, and she actually she gave me some more words. She said that Estelle and Teresa and Maria are just the most amazing girls. They're super helpful. She said Estelle is the most organized person she's met, on top of being a beauty. So I don't know if I can say that out loud, but there you go. So anyway, I'm going to give a big shout out to the foster grandparent team too. And with that, I will turn it over to Teresa, who is going to talk to us a little bit about the alternative placements.
Thank you, Agnes. And also our band, The Long Drink of Water, didn't bring contact information, but a couple people have asked for that, and I have their email and phone number at my office, so if you're interested, just let me know and I'll pass that along. So the Foster Grandparent Program would like to recognize our volunteers who signed up and participated in alternate assignments. Your flexibility and willingness to try something new is to be commended. Through alternate assignments, you directly served 111 children. And in addition, 500 children who are raised by their grandparents receive snack bags because we had a group of volunteers come and fill 500 bags. We have a token of appreciation for you. Those of you who wrote pen pal letters, those of you who did arts and crafts projects and gave them to the children. We had people prepare the snack bags like I just mentioned, and we had a few people participate in a summer rec program at our multi-generational centers last summer. So Maria and Estelle are going to be handing those gifts out. It's just a token of appreciation for those of you who signed up to do the extra volunteer stuff. We thank you. May we have a round of applause for these volunteers? We have another group of volunteers who went above and beyond by serving throughout the school year. They attended a special training to learn how to submit timesheets remotely. They accomplished this every 2 weeks by text or email. Some had to learn new technology to be able to join classes virtually. Others made homework packets from their home, compiled arts and craft packets for their classroom from their home. A few assisted with meal distributions. We had a volunteer who not only did meal distribution, but she also made care packages for the families in her school, and she tutored in an outdoor garden classroom. When I call your names, will you please walk up to the front? Sylvia Lucero. We'll hold our applause till we're done, please. Sheila Pike. Carl Roybal. B. Ritten. And Maurice Taylor. We have 2 volunteers who could not join us today. John Sundell and Rosie Cole serve virtually and in other capacities as well. Please join me in a round of applause for these volunteers. I'd like to read a quote to you from Jim Henson. Kids don't remember what you try to teach them, they remember who you are. I'll turn it back over to Maria now.
Thank you, Teresa. And thank you again, volunteers that received a gift today is for stepping up, trying something different. Change can be hard. Thank you also, Agnes, for spilling the beans and letting the foster grandparents know that I'm going to be serving in a different capacity. But my support for you will never waver, just like your dedication to this program has never wavered. We have here in the room also a few other of staff members from the Department of Senior Affairs who are considered essential throughout the last many months and long, difficult time. And they help us behind the scenes, and you may not get to see them or had met them before. But I want to acknowledge our department's senior principal accountant, Mr. Lendell Hendricks. We call him the Count. And with his help, we've been able to get your reimbursements out to you and accounted for and reported. Also, our human resources manager, Andrew, is been helping us behind the scenes to make sure that your program staff could remain working and working for you. And he'll be and has been working with me to make sure that your next foster grandparent program supervisor is a rock star with a big heart that's going to keep you going. Thank you. Also, Nikki Young is our recreation division manager. She oversees the senior centers and the multi-generational centers. She's the one that opened the door at the multi-generational center so that we can try some creative assignments there. So thank you for that. And she's been busy this whole time with helping with the distribution of senior grab-and-go meals when the senior centers were closed. Her and her staff are working hard to keep the senior centers safe so that we can once again come together for regular in-service trainings. So thank you, Nikki. we also have Jennifer Gonzalez. She is executive assistant to our director, and she has been amazing through this whole time because she's been a huge hub of communications for our whole department, keeping us aware of changes, and as we know, some days there was changes by the hour, right? So thank you, and thank you for helping us, Jennifer, in coordination of this event. So now we're going to turn it over to you. And we get to party double, right? Yeah. Why is that? Because we couldn't be together last year. So I'm happy that we're here together today. And this event was missed last year. Many of you all who should have received your pins for your years of service last year, we held on to them, because we just didn't feel as if we can send them through the mail or give them to you in one of our drive-through events. We were able to get you your letters from Mayor Keller. So today, we're gonna make up for it for everyone that should have received their pins last year in 2020. We'll finally get them today, as well as volunteers who this year in 2021 have reached a milestone year. So, who gets pins? Our milestone years are to recognize foster grandparents who successfully completed their pre-service orientation and who have been in the program for 1 full year, now almost 2. For volunteers who have served for 5 years, 10 years, 15, 20, and I think you heard the mayor earlier say we have a special grandma who gets her 25-year pin today. Although every volunteer doesn't receive a pin today, I may call your name out because your years of service need to be recognized as well. Those that receive pins will be called up, so listen for your name. Those that are not receiving a pin, your name will be called out. You're welcome to stand up or wave and be recognized. Also, today, each one of you are going to receive a gift at the end. So hang tight and help me while we get started with our pinning ceremony. Ready, ladies? Okay, I'm going to ask that the following volunteers come up. I'm going to ask everyone to hold their applause until everyone is named. These volunteers that are going to come up are going to, besides their pin, also receive a long overdue certificate for completing their pre-service orientation. Sandra Hernandez, Rosie Lee Cotta, should have received their pins last year. Sorry for the wait. We'll finally get it to you. Sylvia Lucero, Lori Boccaccini, B. Ritten, and although they couldn't be with us today, I want to recognize Grandpa John Sundell and Grandma Karen Bicka. Thank you for staying with us. I know I didn't give you the heads up in your training that we were going to close, but I'm glad you've stuck it out with us to see when we finally get to return to service. The next group of volunteers have served in the foster grandparent program between 2 and 4 years. I'm going to read a list of names. If you'll wave or you're welcome to stand, and we'll hold our applause until all are named. Patricia Lakes, Shelly Shilvak, Juana Rodriguez, Linda Alvarado, Anita Trujillo, Eloisa Montano Cano, David Cavalier, Carl Roybal, Loretta Hoyt, and Veronica Moya. Thank you for all your service. Next will be another group that we're going to ask to come to the front to be recognized for 5 years of service. Irene Aragon, Kate Baca, Rosemary Chavez, Adrian Cisneros, Evelyn Pizarro, Erlinda Samping, Oris Taylor, Josephine Urias, and although not here, also earning their 5-year pin are Christine Gonzalez and Cynthia Nolazensky. 5 years, awesome milestone, first big pin. Keep it up. Serving between 6 and 9 years, which is about how long I've been here with the Foster Grandparent Program. I'm going to read these names and ask you all to wave your hand, and I'll wave my hand too since I fit in this group. And I like this group of names because it feels like we've been in it together. You were some of the first volunteers that I enrolled while I got here. And so many more names after this that got me beat. Marianne Figg, Betty Jean Trujillo, Alva Luciana, Lori Gallegos, and Grandpa Ramon Trujillo couldn't be here today. Betty Jean, please take him our well wishes. Serving a decade for the City of Albuquerque Foster Grandparent Program, 10 years helping the city's children. Please come up, Denise Corris, Timmy Olave, and Grandpa Arturo Persala. Congratulations, it's a huge milestone. Next, I'm going to ask volunteers who have the next milestone pins to come and join me. Serving 15 years of service, Sheila Pike, and Viola Aguirre. Come on, Grandma. Congratulations, Sheila. Thank you and congratulations. 2 volunteers today have served between 16 and 19 years. One is coming so close to receiving a big 20-year pin. That'll be this spring. Velma Michaelback and Lenora Rodriguez. Please wave your hand, be recognized. Amazing. One foster grandparent volunteer should have received their 20-year pin last year. And this one has been a long time coming. I was excited thinking I was gonna get to hand this one out because we had big plans about a party. Grandma Marjorie Williams, please come on up for what should be a 21-year pin now. I'm glad we finally got to party together. Congratulations. 20 years. We have a volunteer who has served 21 years. That is Etta Torres. Where are you? And for this next pin, for 25 years of service, I'm going to ask Davi Shanae if you'll please come and join me. I'm going to ask Davi here to join me so that we can recognize foster grandparent receiving a 25-year pin, 25 years of dedicated service to the city of Albuquerque. We can announce her name and give her her pin. Sure. Okay, come on. It goes to.
And it goes to Rupi Tafoya. And the word that comes to my mind is rock star.
See, I told you she was bossy, right?
They said they have someone in the back that's supposed to be the fire.
Nobody noticed? No.
Rupi, thank you for these many years. I remember when you got your 20-year pin. I hadn't been here too long. And still, besides that many years of service, you also hold the record for the foster grandparent who has been at the same school with the same teacher the entirety of their service. MacArthur Elementary is a community because of your service. And Miss Cheryl Rusty would have liked to be here, just like she got to attend when you received your 20-year pin. And I'll never forget what she always says of your service. She said, my students are better because of Grandma Rupi. But more than that, I'm a better person. She shared with me that she had recently lost her mother when Grandma Rupi came to her as her volunteer. And she said that you helped her through some of the darkest times, and she is ever grateful. Congratulations, Grandma. Last but certainly not least, our volunteers in the program that have served the longest. They bypassed and got their 25-year pins, And we are hoping they're going to stay long, stay healthy, so that they can get their 30. Grandma Frances Sanchez and Vera Valles for 27 and 28 years respectfully. Talk about dedication. For sticking with the program through this time, for your patience with us, your staff members, and the program, as we learned how to navigate things in a new way, for trying different things, even a wild timesheet by a text message, which we've never done before. We want to give you all a little something special, and we want you to know that you have our hearts and you have our full commitment to first try to make sure that you are safe, that you can stay healthy, and that you can stay strong so that you can return to service. Each one of you has told me about how this program keeps you going. And many have shared with me how you just feel like you've gone downhill after all this time, how it has been difficult for you. And we understand that. So for you to still be here gives us hope. And don't lose your hope, because children in the schools, in the classrooms, they're going to need you more than ever. So please take care of yourselves. We're going to bring a little something to you to help you to do so. And I can't wait until we can be together again. Thank you all very much for your service. Albuquerque is a better place because of you. And the impact that you have had on the children in Albuquerque is something that is never going to be forgotten. It's going to make an everlasting impact in their lives. Thank you.